Hi Scorpios, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be your May 2020 reading with me. So guys, what do I want to say before we get started? Oh, okay. Well, there is a lot going on in May. As you know, Venus is in the 8th house and all of that. So we're going to take a look at astrology and tarot. I have a new spread today that I'm exploring. I'm going to be using Rider-Waite. I really feel like this is the only deck lately I vibe. I'm not sure why. So before we get started, April 26, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we are holding a live webinar with me on how to find your life purpose using your astrology birth chart. So you can join this live webinar even if you don't know your time of birth. Ideally, of course, you would know your time of birth, so then we can see the house placements and all of that. But even if you don't know your time of birth, you can still join and you can still learn a lot. I would say that it's better, than nothing, because even without time of birth, once again, you can see a lot of placements of signs in your chart and different things like this. So we're going to be taking a look at that. I'm going to teach you and show you where to look in your chart and even in the chart of perhaps your friends, family, to see what is this highest expression of your soul, what is this your soul ultimately yearning towards, and how can you also utilize the energies that you already have present in you to help that expression. So we're going to take a look at that. We still have early bird discount. Link to register is going to be in the description box. Once again, April 26, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And anyway, guys, let's get started. So let's take a look for my Scorpio. So Pluto goes retrograde. Pluto goes retrograde in April. Let me just see. I'm having my calendar just so that I don't forget anything. Yes, Pluto goes retrograde. Pluto goes retrograde. I always forget this date. Yes, Pluto goes retrograde April 25th. So next week, pretty much, Pluto goes retrograde. It's your ruling planet. I find it very important. And then whenever Pluto goes retrograde, so pay attention to what happens now. A deep retrospection for a lot of Scorpios is possible. I do usually advise during Pluto retrograde to be a bit more careful with your physical body. Given also there's been a lot of 6th house transits for Scorpios lately. And then also Mars, your other ruling planet, is ingressing into Pisces May 13, 2020. So I think that, many Scorpios would agree it's been not the best emotional time. It's almost like there's been emotions you perhaps didn't want to really look at, or you thought you were done with them. You know how you're like, oh, I'm done with it. That part is over. I feel like, ever since Mars entered Aquarius, especially this you've been feeling in April probably, there's been some outbursts. You might have had some nervous breakdowns. You might have just found yourself out of nowhere in the middle of days sobbing, crying, and you've been like, what? What's going on with me? And I think this is all, well, Saturn entered your 4th house, which is gonna make you deal with some of your emotions, home issues, home situations. Where you live is important, because if your base, where you live, if you're not at home in your own home, whether maybe roommates are not really in alignment, or if it's your own place but neighborhood maybe is not it, or maybe sometimes even it's just about what you make out of place where you live. This thing's been, especially these days, where we all spend so much time at home, all of these issues, especially I feel like for anybody who has Scorpio in their chart, been especially present. And let's see, your first card, King of Pentacles, off to a good start. But in this spread, I take all the cards right away. We have here Page of Wands. All right, Scorpios. And you know what? I hate to say it, but for Scorpios, even though with everything going on, some of you are still not over that person you've been dealing with. You can tell this to anyone a million times, but I think what the Saturn and Mars made you realize is that there is some feelings that are there. Queen of Wands. And you don't know what to do, but we'll see. We have here 9 of Wands. Some of you have Leo in their chart, also Earth. We have here Queen of Swords. We have here 6 of Pentacles. We have here 9 of Pentacles. Alright. And we have here King of Swords with the 9 of Cups. Jeez. King of Swords with the 9 of Cups. Oh boy, where do we start? There is a lot of, it's weird, right? Because it's self-isolation time, but you have here 5 court cards, pretty much, that showed up. King of Swords, Queen of Swords is here. It's a strange place you find yourself in. I think as much as Scorpios tend to be okay with isolation usually, not a big deal, right? We're used to be often alone and not being understood by others, but I feel like lately you've been craving certain people in your life. You've been craving, you know, that emotional connection. You've been craving, I think, freedom also of movements, and just, you know, for you it's right now about having conversations, just a lot. There's a lot that's been going on. I feel like it's been mostly with the third house transits, of course, in your mind. There is that desire to feel again, but I don't feel like you're letting yourself feel anything, because we don't have here really cups. The only cups card we have here is the Nine of Cups, and it's like you only want to let yourself feel something if it feels good. I got you, Scorpio. I see what you did here. You don't want to feel anything if you're a Scorpio, I feel like now, unless it feels good. Wow, this is very deep. This is actually really deep. It's like, if it feels good, if it's happy, if it's love, if it's reciprocated, if it makes you feel high on love, great on love, whatever, not just love, any other feelings, if it makes you feel Nine of Cups, then you're open to feel things. But if not, forget about it. And I think this is where the problem is. Because for Scorpios, you've been closing yourself because you've been so hurt, right? And you've been battling so many things on your own. But, you know, you do understand that it's not going to be possible to live the rest of your life in that kind of no man's land of no feelings, you know, nothing. Is just not your nature. And it's been, I think, strange because with all of these transits in your third house, which we had, you know, last year and even early part of this, everything has been around this mental stimulation. Everything has been in your head. And look at this, by the way, Wounded Warrior, how his head here is literally covered, right? Like a injury or wound. I'm not saying anyone is injured, but I'm just saying on a mental level, you've been thinking so much, your head hurts. And what's happening now is with the fourth house transit, which of course is your heart and emotions, and also Venus went into 8th house, which has to do with the depth. You are being pushed to start feeling again. But what you're doing is like, nah, I'm not gonna feel it unless it feels good. But that's not always how it works, and I think it's tricky here. I feel like it's a very painful place for Scorpios, to be honest, because you're really resisting to feel things, and that's why it's so painful. That's why it hurts so much, because you're like, you know what, I've earned my happiness, I've earned to feel good. I don't want to be feeling like SHIT again. I've been hurt, I know that. I even see, you know, it's gonna be it's a different spread, so I'm interpreting it differently. You see how in all of these court cards here, with King of Pentacles, Page of Wands, Queen of Wands, of course King and Queen are wearing a crown, and Page even is wearing this hat, which of course, you know, symbolizes also a certain student, certain ability, right? But this Wounded Warrior here, he has no hat, he has no crown. His head, you know, is in this injured place where it's wrapped with this, you know, band-aid. I don't know how to call this. What I feel some Scorpios feel here is that the crown that you once were carrying has fallen off. And even that, you know, a hat here can of course represent youthfulness, whatever. Even that has fallen off. You're just in that place where you don't have that crown on you. And you know, when I say crown, I don't talk here about status or something like that. I'm talking about, you know, when you're in the place where you own it. And I don't know what is it. It could be your passion for life, your sexuality, your appetite, your desire for things, you know, all these things that make you who you are. But when you lose that, which is why this whole emotional thing here is so tricky, when you lose that, what's left, right? You're just in that place. Once again, it's like you're not a full transition here. when I say not a full transition, it's almost like, how to say, it's like you are not where you were before, where you were hurt, but it's like, you know, this, once again, these are the transits that make you also realize these things. With Venus in your 8th house, which is your sexuality placement, your sexual charisma, your ability to attract what you want, who you want, and trap them, you know, in your Scorpio, you know, web, is like, have I lost it? Am I not the hot Scorpio anymore? Am I not the femme fatale anymore? Or I don't know what's for men we use. Am I not that anymore? Is it really in the past? You know, and like with the age thing, of course, you know, like I can only speak for my age or younger because that's where I've been. But, you know, I've had friends who are in their 40s, late 30s, 50s even. And there is women, you know, and men who in that age are still killing it, both men and women. So, is this really the age thing? I don't think so, you know. Because I know some people are younger who watch it, some people are older. But I think it's not about age, it's about certain perspective here. There is, of course, someone with the King of Pentacles, strong earth placements. But it's like, what stands out to me here, this person is in a space where it's almost like they have became, I don't know, it's a weird example. If you ever watched Pirates of the Caribbean, you know, where there was this, in Pirates of the Caribbean, Flying Holland or whatever, when all of these people, they've molded into the ship, they became like part of the ship. So I feel like whoever this King of Pentacles is, this is them. Like they were looking for that security, for that stability, for whatever they were looking for, and they've molded into that ship, you know, and this person over here is the same. It's like this King of Pentacles here, you cannot even say, you cannot even see where they are, where the chair is, you know, where the throne is. It's like you don't even recognize what this person used to be once. It's like this person, in the sake of that stability, security, whatever it is they were searching for, has completely, almost like lost their true essence. And it's just, you don't recognize them. They also, it might be a person who's like a shapeshifter, they with someone, or they in some job or something, they have done things to change themselves, maybe their appearance or how they carry themselves, just to fit in there. So this is a bit of a people pleaser person. But what I see here is that with this Page of Wands, there is going to be either news, some kind of news you're gonna receive, or a message maybe even from this person, or some kind of news. It doesn't have to be a message necessarily, with a Page of Wands that you're gonna receive. By the way, as I was recording this, my camera was glitching a lot, so I'm not sure how smoothly this message is gonna go, because literally I repeated this 3 times and my camera kept glitching. So I take it as an omen, so I'm not sure how smoothly this will gonna go. But with this Page of Wands to the Queen of Wands, if you in fact do receive that message or that news, it's gonna be interesting, Scorpios, because on a surface level, you're gonna look like you are unbothered. You're gonna look like you don't care. You're gonna make yourself look like you're on top of the world and you're over things, and this doesn't bother you and you don't care. You're in a different place now. You're gonna turn another way. This is gonna make it look like this is beneath you, you're over it. You have other things in your life now. But deep down with the 9 of Wands is how you truly feel. You make yourself look like a Queen of Wands to the world. You have everything together. You have your self-worth. You know who you are. But with the 9 of Wands, deep down, you are terrified of what if there is going to be that final, you know, nail that's gonna hurt you and you are never gonna recover from it. There is that fear. So with the Queen of Swords here, I feel like you're willing to listen to people. There is also some kind of, once again, air sign energy here. But, you know, it's weird because we do have here the 6 of Pentacles to the 9. So it's almost like you do want to see what is someone here is going to offer you. Will it offer you enough for you to take a risk to get out of this garden, that secure place you've built for yourself where at least no one humiliates you or lies to you? Is it really worth taking that risk? Because with the King of Swords here, if someone does indeed speak the truth, you might listen. But this person has to be also clear about where they are, what they do. We do have here the Nine of Cups as the outcome. I do feel like, you know, it's interesting. Watch Taurus reading, because Taurus is important for you since it's your relationship house, and Taurus had the same, you know, Nine of Cups to the Nine of Pentacles card, where Taurus also didn't really want to go somewhere if they don't feel fulfilled there. They would rather stay where they are. It's like, you know, for you it's the same choice. You don't want to feel shitty feelings anymore. You don't want to feel shitty things. You don't want to be crying over someone. But it's like it's becoming challenging because we don't always choose what emotions we feel. We have control on how we respond to emotions, how much we let them affect us, but we don't get to always choose. Today I feel upbeat and happy, tomorrow I feel this. You know, sometimes healthy way to process emotions is to have that grief, but I think for you it's just been too much. That's what I'm seeing, Scorpios. We're gonna take this to the extended to learn more about what else is coming from this person or whatever these energies are that surround you. We have here mice, and I think you're keeping yourself busy to get your mind off things and not feel, but I think with Saturn in your 4th house is making you slow down. It's like, no, you're not going to be working so much right now. You're going to have to stay and deal with these emotions, and you're like, no, I would rather keep myself busy. I'll find what to do. This mice card, because you also don't trust people. Anyway, link to the extended is going to be down below, Scorpios. I love you all so much. Wish you an amazing month of May. Don't forget to check out my webinar. Link is going to be down below. Love you all so much. Link to the extended is down below, and we're gonna talk soon. Bye bye, guys.